What's up, everybody? My name is Richard Blade, and Samurai Jack's coming back, baby! Yeah! Back to the past, Samurai Jack. Growing up, Samurai Jack was one of the absolute best shows I ever watched growing up. And even to this day, it still holds up, thanks to its unique style, subversion of the censors, action sequences, and great memorable characters. I can watch any episode of Samurai Jack right now as an adult and still enjoy it just as much as I did when I was a kid. It's that good. That being said, it's not a big surprise when we finally figure out recently that Samurai Jack is coming back, with Genndy Tartakovsky himself making the announcement that the show will be returning to Adult Swim. And I think this is a good thing. But I'm not here to talk about why the show is so good. I want to talk about why I believe it coming back, it'll still be as good. But in order to do that, we gotta take a look at another recent reboot that didn't exactly really get as much critical praise as we hoped. And we all know what it's going to be. It's Powerpuff Girls. When the Powerpuff Girls reboot first released, it definitely got its fair share of mixed responses. Many people thought it was okay. Others thought it was the worst possible thing ever imagined. And that's not true, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, the show is no masterpiece. It's far from it. At best, the show is actually not that bad. It's okay at best. The animation looks alright, the characters are the same characters for the most part. And even though there's a big elephant in the room involving the voice actors, they do fairly a good job. With the exception of Buttercup and Princess. They sound nothing alike. That's like the worst choice ever.
This stinks. I hate rainy days. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. I need action. I need adventure. I need to punch.
Dude, it's Sloppy Joe Tuesday. They should make this a holiday. Funny story. Check it. So, there's this guy at the construction yard, Mac.
Ha! Who would want a stupid old BB gun? Besides, you'll shoot your eye out. Since my daddy buys me anything I want.
Hey, super gal pals. Looks like there's an opening now that your sister ditched you.
But with that being said, is it really the worst thing ever?
It's party time!
Even with that, still, no, it's honestly not. We've seen far worse stunning kids shows. Trust me. We have Teen Titans Go, we have Food Fight, Norm of the North. Trust me, there are way worse things out there. And Powerpuff Girls could have been, in my opinion, way worse than what it became. Now, I know it's a little unfair to be comparing these two shows together, well, with one actually picking off where the other left off, and another being straight up a reboot. But here's the thing, in my opinion. Powerpuff Girls takes place about, say, a couple years after the original series, with the girls being now in grade school, so I kind of see it as picking up where the original show left off, in a sense. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am aware that it's technically still considered a reboot, but it still has all the same characters and everything like that. So in a sense, I still kind of see it in the same sense as Samurai Jack, so I think it kind of makes sense to compare these two, especially given the fact that they both have fan bases from the 90s and the 2000s. So again, it does make sense. So with that being said, let's take a look at these shows. One thing that makes the new Samurai Jack good is that the original creator is coming back. Not only that, but he's the one who wanted it to happen. Genndy Tartakovsky, the creator of Samurai Jack, himself stated that he wanted to come back and finish Samurai Jack. Over the years, Genndy Tartakovsky has been busy with a lot of other projects. After Samurai Jack ended, he went on to make another show called Symbiotic Titan, which was a really good show in my opinion. It had great animation, great action sequences, and just some damn memorable characters. How unfortunately, the show ended on a very unpositive note, because Cartoon Network was very greedy and said, there's not a lot of toys that go in the show. Symbiotic Titan was canceled because there weren't enough toys to be put into the show. Symbiotic Titan was canceled because it didn't sell enough toys. Let that sink in. Anyway, after that show ended, Genndy Tartakovsky went on to work with Sony Pictures Animation and went on to make the Hotel Transylvania films, which I think are good. Not classics or anything that amazing, but still good. Okay, they're good. They have their problems, I'll be honest. That one guy, voiced by what's-his-face, is really fucking annoying. I'll give you all that. But I still think the show was really funny, and the show does fit Genndy's style. I think it's still a pretty good show. Or a pretty good movie, in my opinion. That's all I have to say about it. and I'm sticking to it. After Hotel Transylvania 2, Ginny was supposed to direct a new Popeye film, but opted instead to work with Adult Swim. That's when he went to CEO Mike Laszlo to pitch the idea to return to Samurai Jack. Mike Laszlo obviously made a very smart choice here. He knew just how much fans were begging for the show to come back. So pretty much the deal was made before it even got started. 2 weeks later, the show was officially greenlit and Samurai Jack was already on its way. So, what does it have to do with Powerpuff Girls? Well, as we all know, the original creators did not return for that show. As known by a lot of people, Powerpuff Girls actually has multiple reincarnations throughout the years. We have that weird anime series that happened in 2006 that everyone wants to forget about. We have that finale show that came out in 2008, I believe. It was supposed to be like the series finale of the original show, but we still got more specials after that. We got that weird stylized party show that happened in 2014 that, at best, fans were like, that was okay. I could have lived without that, but didn't really kill me, so okay. And now we have this version, the 2016 version, which fans are stating is the worst thing ever. The reason why fans are happy to have Samurai Jack back is because we've been wanting it to come back. Samurai Jack was a show that ended far too soon, and is a show that we needed to come back. Samurai Jack is a show that ended way too soon and never got to finish its story. And for a show with an overarching story, that's a serious issue we have with it. Powerpuff Girls lasted for about 6 seasons, and at that point began to enter something called seasonal rot. Something that a lot of shows often do enter after a certain period of time. It got to a point where even the creator, Craig McCracken, stated he was done with Powerpuff Girls. Despite that, Cartoon Network knew how popular Powerpuff Girls was and how many toys it sold, so they kept etching him on to make more shows. After the terrible reception of the anime series, they brought Craig McCracken back to make another episode. The episode was okay, not many people watched the episode, and that was supposed to be the end. Until 2014, where Craig again was forced to come back to make another episode. That weird stylized party final show. It was at that point where Craig decided he was done. So, who's in control of Powerpuff Girls now? Well, honestly, people who have no idea what the fuck they're doing. This isn't an episode that talks about how bad the show is. I'll have an episode about that in the future. But right now, let's just stick to the differences between the show. The point I'm trying to make is that Powerpuff Girls has been around for so long that people were just flat out sick of it. Samurai Jack, however, is going to get a hearty, well-welcomed return. Alright, so with Adult Swim taking over, that means that the subversion for censorship doesn't have to be there. And Ginny himself has stated that that's not what's going to happen. The show is going to be completely violent, it's going to be TVMA rated, and personally, I think that's for the best. In the original series, Samurai Jack was able to do such amazing, badass things just by himself. I mean, watch this for a couple seconds. Is that not awesome? Imagine doing that with people, or other things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, we'll still see robots and aliens and stuff like that get cut up, but now we'll actually see real violence. We're going to see people and all that stuff be cut up and stuff like that. And it's not something we can't handle. I've been hearing some arguments from Samurai Jack fans recently saying that they don't want an MA-rated Samurai Jack for some reason. I don't understand it, really, to be honest. I mean, if they were little kids, or maybe they want to get their kids invested in the show, then maybe I get it, but like for someone who doesn't have kids like me, I can handle it. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was a little kid, I'd probably still be able to handle it, maybe because the style was so cool and unique. But then again, my parents would never let me watch it. They wouldn't let me watch Simpsons growing up, let alone watch that. But now that I'm 21, going on 22, I think I can handle it. I'm sure I can handle the show pretty well. Yeah, this is from a guy who plays shit like fucking Batman Arkham Knight and Star Wars Battlefront all the fucking time. And I've played the other the Call of Duty games, like all Black Ops and stuff like that, and I've played them all. I can deal with this easy. So with that being said, I am perfectly fine with a TV MA-rated Samurai Jack. I really am. And judging from the concept art, it's still going to be Samurai Jack, even if it is a little more risque and violent. I don't care really much about the violence, it's more of the characters. And if the show's spirit is there, the heart, and the characters are still the same, then by all means, be as violent as you want. I don't care. This is probably the last thing I'm going to be talking about, but here's the thing. Remember when I said about Powerpuff Girls and how everyone was sick to death of it? Well, yeah, that was true. Can you find one fan of the original animated series that actually likes the new Powerpuff Girls series? No, not really, can you? But I gotta make a point. Just because a fandom wants something to come back doesn't automatically make the show going to be good at all, okay? I'm sure there's a small number of people in the Powerpuff Girls fandom that wanted this new reboot. And either they were really disappointed or some of them actually said it's a pretty damn good reboot. I don't know who you are, but if you can find something to like in it, then that's great. You're part of a very small number of people, but hey, you're part of something special. Don't ever let anyone take that away from you. However, the reason why I do believe the show will be good regardless of fans or not is because, again, of all the reasons I've said here before. The show has Jenny Tartakovsky coming back, Phil LaMarr will be returning, I'm sure other characters will be returning. Like, I think John DiMaggio will come back as the Scotsman. I don't know who they're going to get to do Aku, though. For those who don't know, Maku, the original voice actor who did Aku in the original series run, passed away in 2006 due to cancer, and he was fantastic. I'll be perfectly honest. Aku is one of the greatest animated villains I've ever seen. He was threatening, intimidating, an amazing villain, just an awesome guy to watch on TV, and he could still be really, really funny.
No, master. Please forgive me.
No. I mean, just watch this epic fight scene between him and Jack. The animation on the guy, his facial features, the fact that he can shapeshift into whatever the fuck he wants, and the soundtrack. Just listen to that fucking soundtrack. Oh man, it's just awesome. And that was in the very first episode, too. And Aku's had other fights, too, and he's done some pretty funny stuff throughout the past, too. He's just an awesome villain. So, who will they get to replace Maku? Well, there are other people who've done Aku in the past. There's Greg Baldwin, and there's Fred Tatasciore. Personally, my choice would be to choose Greg. Why? Well, because Greg Baldwin, surprisingly enough, actually did replace Maku after he passed away in another role that Maku did. General Iroh of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Another freaking great show. And Greg Baldwin replaced Maku after his passing away. All in all, I think it's a great choice. I just think it's a perfect choice in my opinion. Now, I know it's going to be hard to replace Maku, because there is no one who can replace Maku. When you find a perfect voice for a perfect character like Aku, it's going to be hard replacing him. I know that. But with Maku's death, you got to find a way. And I know for a fact these people will find a way. And I know the fans will, of course, support whoever they choose. Because Jindy isn't going to let the fans down. I really don't think he will. Well, he's let the show build up for so many years at this point. And I'm personally happy he's done this. I understand he's been busy with other projects. I understand that he's got a lot on his plate. But the fact that he himself actually went to Mike Laszlo, the CEO of Adult Swim, and told him straight up, I want to finish Samurai Jack, really shows his commitment to this. He actually left his job at Sony Pictures Animation to finish Samurai Jack. That just shows how fully dedicated he is to finishing the show. And I really, really fucking admire that. It really does. So I have so little doubt that he's going to let the fans down. Okay? To him, I think the fans and the show are what's most important to him. And that, my friends, is why I truly believe that Samurai Jack is going to be a great adaptation. I know I kind of dogged a bit on the Powerpuff Girls and stuff like that, but I'm sorry, that's not a good show. It's not. Like I said, Powerpuff Girls isn't the worst show ever. It has its problems, but it's not awful.
It's party time!
Oh, stop it. I've seen enough of that. But the show, in the end, is okay. But I think the reason why nobody likes it is because it has no heart. There's just no heart put into the show at all. There was just no heart or soul being put in the Powerpuff Girls series. None whatsoever. But Samurai Jack, it's got everything. The heart, the spirit, the characters, the animation, and the action that we've been craving from the show for years. I think it's all going to come back, and it's going to come back full force. Personally, I think that not only is Samurai Jack back, but I think it's back better than ever.
He has returned.
I truly believe Samurai Jack is back, and he's back for good. At least until the show ends. But hey, at least we're going to finally see the ending. We're going to finally see the story finally come full circle. We're going to see Jack finally make it back to the past. We're going to watch him defeat Aku. We're going to watch him save all of China and save the world, the galaxy, the whole freaking universe from Aku. And it's going to be fucking awesome. You know it's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be awesome. And gosh damn it, you got to thank Jenny Tartakovsky for coming back and finishing it up. Thank you, Jenny Tartakovsky. Thank you for everything. I'm Razorblade, and I'll see you in the next episode. That being said, rock on.